Hello and welcome to Comics Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
So welcome along. This is the Thursday night one of these. We do twice a week, half-hour comedy shows where we solve the problems in the world, and the news is full of those. You can send them to us as well wherever you're watching it. You can message us. The Twitter thing's on screen as well. And seeing as we are just starting, this would be a shame for you to not share it around all over the shop.
Yes.
So whichever social medias you're on, do us a favour and just spread that link around, because hopefully it's going to be half an hour of fun. I almost shaved for this.
Yeah, but I'm getting close to the old shave. It's nearly there. It's nearly there. Maybe by Tuesday. Tune in Tuesday to see if Steve and I shave.
Wow. And also for anyone who listens after the event on the podcast, you've got no idea what our faces are like. You're hoping we're talking about our faces, but there's a chance that we're not.
It is the internet.
Oh, dear. It's one way to make money. We keep trying to get on OnlyFans and they won't accept us yet, but more on that later. So yeah, we're going to go through the news, find the problems, solve the problems. We might not solve the problems, but hopefully we'll have fun as we do it. Yeah. Spread the love by not only sharing the link, joining in on any message board you're near, but also as we go through the show, I'll keep mentioning the fact that no one can earn any money because they keep shutting down every flipping place we get to perform in. So if you would do us the kindness of chucking a donation in our direction, we'll give you the details on that in a bit. But I reckon let's not spend too long before we get into solving some problems. Eric, what you got?
Yes, I've got the first problem for us. And Steve, what is a good way to make yourself look like an idiot? It's good. It's a good question.
I feel like
good problem.
I feel like it's a catch.
I'm not saying to you personally.
Okay.
I'm actually speaking about the you in this case is Donald Trump. And the answer, because he does a good job on his own, let's be honest, I'm not a fan. But another way you can do it, to just take it to the next level, is do a series of interviews with Bob Woodward.
Okay.
Yeah, you know Bob Woodward, right?
Did he play the Equalizer?
Yes, that's exactly who he is. He also wrote a famous book that helped bring down, did the reporting that brought down President Nixon. He's of course the famous Carl Woodward and Bernstein. He's one of the most prestigious I can't talk today. Reporters in America. Wow. He's famous for his in-depth interviews, his in-depth books. He sat down with Donald Trump, and the book is coming out. Now you know that we love to talk about the books that covered Donald Trump, don't we? We just on Tuesday we talked about Michael Cohen's book. I had some fun with that. There's been so many tell-alls, right? This one, Trump sat down and talked with Woodward 18 times. That's a lot of time.
It's a lot of Trump, yeah.
And after all of that time, Bob Woodward talked to Donald Trump. He thought, okay, I've talked to him 18 times. What am I going to call my book? And the answer is here.
Fair enough.
Rage.
Yep. I can see how that happened.
After you speak to Donald Trump 18 times, you're feeling the rage. And that's the problem. Is the life lesson here, Steve. Never give Donald Trump your phone number.
Yeah, good idea. I wonder how many broken pencils this Woodward guy had.
Oh, it's incredible. Well, the thing is, right, he was calling Woodward in the, like they did 2 interviews in the Oval Office, like with all the staff there, and sort of the normal way that you would interview a president. But then Trump would call him like in the middle of the night and just start rambling because he's a 70-year-old man. This is what they do. They just ramble and they talk. And Woodward just sat there and go, "Keep talking, pretty boy." Okay, just could you say that? And he taped it. He taped all the calls. We've got it all. There's tapes. Lordy, let there be tapes.
Normally, old people just talk about the war, but of course, Trump had the bone spurs, so I guess he had to talk about other things.
That's right, exactly. So, Steve, we talked about Michael Cohen's book. We've talked about lots of other books before. You know the game that we love to play when we have a book about Donald Trump. We're going to play Guess What's Real and Guess What's Not. Steve,
it's quiz time.
Are you ready to play?
It's quiz time, right. If you've never watched any of these shows before, I love being a quiz contestant.
Yes.
Because I grew up watching this stuff on TV, so I like to do this. Hello, it's nice to be here. I've had a great fun time already, so it don't matter if I don't win. And if I don't win, that doesn't matter because I've had a great time. Hello.
Don't know what that accent is, but I like it.
Absolutely everyone on any quiz ever sounds like. Right. We'll get the message boards open as well. You can message as well.
I was just checking that. So that as people can play along if they want, because we'll do these as true, false statements. Are these things actually in Woodward's book or not in Woodward's book? Steve, you're going to tell me if it's true or false. Do we have, you can see, okay, are you ready, Steve? Yep. You ready to play? Okay. Did Donald Trump say that he knew in March that the coronavirus was deadly when he said in quote to Woodward, "I still like playing it down"? It's so easily transmissible, you wouldn't even believe it. So Trump knew all the way back in March. Do you think that's true or false?
And when were these phone calls? Because that's the kind of thing where even if he proves himself wrong, if he ends up looking like he was at one stage clever, he'd go for it. Because I believe that to be the trait of the narcissist. So I'm going to go for, let's have a look. Rian Thew says true. Chris says, oh, it's a quiz. Bring it on. No, give me answer. True seems to be the consensus.
Yes. You are right. It is true. Trump did say that because, of course, if he's going to have a pandemic, it's going to be the best pandemic, Steve. If it's going to kill people, it's going to kill more than any other pandemic, more than that 1917 pandemic, which happened in 1918, more than all of them. It's going to be better than any crappy little Obama pandemic.
Yeah, and it's difficult to be better than the one in 1918, which ended the Second World War. So he had to reach.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, exactly. That was a big one. That was a big one.
Right,
you got that one right, Steve. You're
one.
You're on a roll. Right. Okay. Now, Woodward did talk to other people as well. He also talked to the former director of national intelligence, and the former director of national intelligence for the United States told Bob Woodward that he thought the Russians did have something on Trump. True or false?
Oh, and by something it could be a Russian lady's wee-wee. Let's have a look. No one's helping on the they're coming through. The consensus is that people think it's true. It must be true.
It is false, Steve.
Let me down.
Yes. They don't have something on Trump. They have many things.
Oh, dear.
Many, many things. Some of those things are actually on Trump. They're a bit wet. Right. Okay. Look, down one, up one. Woodward asked Trump if he was working to understand the anger and pain of black people in the United States. And Trump replied, no.
Oh, God. So, I mean, it's believable, but it would be him being honest, which is not believable. This is like one of those paradoxes. You know the thing about the two doors, and there's a guy in front of one who always tells the truth and the other one always lies?
Yep.
But that's just one person with Donald Trump. So I would say most people are going false with this one. False.
It is false, but because Trump only understands anger and pain. That's probably the one way. And he really understands pain because of his bone spur.
Yeah.
But in actuality, he did say that. It's true. But it's funnier to say false because he's racist. Nice. In describing his chemistry with Kim Jong-un, Trump said, you meet a woman, in 1 second, you know whether it's going to happen or not. What's true or false?
Does he know that just because he's called Kim doesn't mean he's a woman? Oh, God, this is worse than we thought. But you know what? Because seeing as we know what he said on that bus about if you're famous, you can just grab people, that must mean that's kind of when you know that you're famous. So it must be true.
It is true. Trump knew nothing would happen with Kim, though, since he's too fat to be Kim's type.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's good. It's a funny one.
That's a Steve-esque joke. Yeah,
it is, isn't it?
I told a joke. Guys, I told a joke. So if you want to buy us a drink, it's one drink per show.
Because people are keeping score in the message board. Keep score of the jokes. How many have you spotted?
That's the first one. That's worth a drink or two. Right, two more left, Steve. Dr. Fauci, the famous person, the virologist and all that kind of stuff, he's probably the most trusted man in America, said that Trump's attention span is like a minus number. True or false?
Ooh, no. Do you know what? Before even people are coming into this, Fauci's a scientist, and he must realize no attention must make you a fraction rather than a negative number. So false.
It is false, but not for the reason that you said, Steve. It's false because you can't measure something that doesn't exist.
True. There you go.
There you go. So still counts. You get a win. You get a win even if your rationale was wrong. Final question in the quiz. There's more things to talk about that he said even we're finding out today. Like, God, this is going to be quite a book. Kim Jong-un described to Trump in detail how he had his uncle killed in 2013. So he told Trump how he'd murdered his own uncle. True or false?
But he said that back then, because if it was recently after Trump's sister had said all those things, I can imagine that kind of like, I know a guy. But a lot of people in the messages, they're all Mark saying false, but Chris is saying true, Enthused is saying true.
It is true. And Trump followed that up by asking if the same techniques can be used on your niece.
Oh yes, they're all in line for it. Wow. So let's have a look. Steve 4, Chris 3, Mark 5, John. I've lost how many you got. But there's the results.
There we go.
I like it, Chris.
So, congratulations, you guys win. Nothing.
Yeah.
Just like the Trump presidency, it just ends with despair.
But look, I don't want to give you a telling off because it seems harsh, but I think you might need to apologize to Donald Trump.
Okay.
Because you must have seen this this week. Donald Trump nominated for a Nobel Prize, so maybe you got to be a little bit nicer to him because, do you have a Nobel Prize nomination?
No.
So maybe got to be a little bit nice. Now, a lot of people have been harsh. I've not seen everything, but I definitely saw there have been some nasty tweets about this, about Donald Trump being nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize. Someone said him getting a Nobel Peace Prize would be like Mr. Creosote winning Slimmer of the Year. There's a Monty Python reference that the young people are into. I also saw apparently Donald Trump winning a Nobel Peace Prize is like Adam from Adam and Eve winning Best Dressed. Interesting.
Nice.
It's like Johnny Storm from the Fantastic Four winning Pipe Smoker of the Year. All really harsh, nasty comments.
Yeah.
But Donald Trump can't really fight back because he's trying to win a peace prize. So I might as well keep tweeting them. Maybe.
I don't think he understands it in quite the same way.
No.
He's happy to fight back. He thinks that'll make sure he wins against those other peaceniks. He'll beat them all. He'll destroy them. The key note here, though, is that any jackass can get nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Then why don't we make that happen? We're looking for free publicity left, right, and centre.
Steve.
Yeah?
I hereby nominate you for a Nobel Peace Prize.
Thank you. I don't know what piece it is, but I do like a nice piece and a prize. Mark says, shouldn't that be Nobel? And then there's a couple of asterisks in. That's good, so that way your comment doesn't get auto-monitored by the very sensitive computers. Is that Nobel Piss Prize? That's what it is, Nobel Piss Prize.
It's got to be Piss Prize. Yeah, it doesn't end with a Y, so.
Oh, no. Imagine that. I'm going to grab myself. No, it's not. Wow. So, yeah. Do you feel bad about picking on someone who's been nominated for something?
No, I don't feel bad about anything that happens to Donald Trump. This it looks like it's going to be a good book, and there's more things to come because Woodward's going to be on 60 Minutes on Sunday, so we may have to play this quiz again because it sounds like there's more controversies coming, and it seems like there's plenty of books coming. And now, to be fair, we never do any books that are supporters of Donald Trump because they're all full of shit.
They're in the fiction section.
Nice. The entire book would be just false. Again, it wouldn't be any fun to play.
To be fair, Donald Trump has inspired so many books. There is a chance he might win a Nobel Prize for Literature. At this rate, he's doing all right. He's having a great year. What can you say? Rena Thew says, is it literally that if he's quiet for a bit, then in contrast, it's worth a Peace Prize? Yes. Imagine getting Donald Trump to shut up for half an hour. I'd give him a prize for that.
Oh, my God. Yeah, that's true.
You can keep the messages coming through. If you're enjoying the show, get subscribed at the YouTube channel. That makes it quite handy as well. I know we've got people watching on Twitch. Yeah, keep doing that. I'm really enthused. Who's a great Twitcherer, whatever the phrase is. You should watch his show as well. He remakes retro tech, which you can imagine for a nerd like me who spends all of his life basically just watching documentaries about Mortal Kombat. Very much into it. And if you're enjoying the show enough that you chuck some money in our direction, there's a link near where this is being streamed, hopefully, and you can pop some money in the pot. And it is the only money that we're earning these days. Right. Keep the messages coming through. I want to move on to the next problem that we need to solve. And this is solving the problem of the second wave. Yeah. So yesterday I was sitting around here doing some work in this very seat in my little studio, quote marks. And my phone had this little notification that says, watch now to see the Downing Street briefing. And I thought, how long did it take that thing to be sent through? They stopped doing those months ago. But sure enough, I started watching the TV and...
Welcome back to Downing Street for an update on coronavirus as we enter autumn and approach winter.
Oh, they're back.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like good old times again. It took me back to a time, hopefully you remember this, Eric. Do you remember when we all thought we were going to die?
Oh yeah, this seems like it was years ago.
Yeah, good times. Yeah, earlier this year, turns out.
Yeah. It was way back in 2020. Oh, that was ages ago.
Those were the days.
A long time ago.
This was, and then it got really good, right? Because the whole cast was back. They had Chris Whitty, they had Boris Johnson, they had Holly Valance, and they started doing all of our favourites.
Next slide, please.
Next slide, please. Yes. And then later on, they really wheeled out the old classics.
Robert Peston, ITV. Unmute, Robert.
Unmute, Robert. Thanks, Robert. Just for old time's sake.
You can just see him going. I mean, it's been a while. It's been a long time. He's forgotten how.
Yeah, I mean, we've both done shows where we couldn't be heard for a while, so we can't really judge them. But he's Robert Peston on ITV, and we're on this thing. They showed us some fancy new graphics as well. So we had all the graphs about death rates and all that stuff. Then they showed us this one, which is interesting. I saw that and thought, that looks like a really difficult round of the quiz show blockbusters. Like, that single person is not going to win. That one mind on their own is not going to win that one. So the nostalgia was good. The graphics were great. And then we started to get some really exciting stuff. There's a new operation, a new plan. This is Operation Moonshoot. Now, admittedly, it means it costs well over half of the entire budget for the NHS. But the plan is to test everyone all the time, constantly, so we know everything about everyone because they've been tested, and that means you can go out back into life. We know that you're not infectious. And there are a couple of problems. One, the cost. Two, logistically very difficult. Three, the technology doesn't exist. Now, that seems like
so close.
It's a big one, isn't it? But it's the same way that they tried to deal with the problem of the hard border in Ireland, that they came up with a great plan, but the technology does not exist yet. So who's really at fault? Is it the politicians who had a solid plan, or the scientists for not inventing the technology yet?
That's it. It's their fault.
Come on, scientists. I mean, pull your finger out. We've been waiting for ages for the flying car, so get that sorted. And if you'd kindly get this other tech sorted as well. I mean, the way that if you can come up with a plan that doesn't involve technology that exists, I can solve all the problems. HS2, don't build it. Just use transporters from Star Trek. Have I done it? There you go. Not my fault that it's not been invented yet. That's Operation Fruit Shoot, whatever it's called. Operation Money Shot. Which does sound a little bit like a Bond villain plan. Operation Moon Shoot, Mr. Bond. And Boris Johnson looks like one of the cats that would be being stroked by the villain. And they came up with some other great things as well. Have a look at this.
In England, from Monday, we're introducing the rule of 6.
Rule of 6. I mean, it's not going to be as good as the rule of 3, because as comedians, we all know, we've all done the basic training. The rule of 3 is you establish a theme, you propagate the theme, and then there's subverting the theme. It doesn't sound as funny when you say it like that, but that is the plot line to most jokes that you've ever enjoyed. Yeah. And it works. The rule of 6 is just going to be less funny.
All right, I got one for you. There's an Englishman, a Scotsman, Welshman, bloke from the Isle of Man, fellow from the Isle of Wight, and an Irishman all go into a bar. This might take a while.
The plan is, and we mentioned this on Tuesday's show, it's on our YouTube, you can go and watch the whole thing again. There are some clips. You're not allowed more than 6 people in your home.
Yeah.
And I started to develop a theory. Do you think the reason they're not letting us have more than 6 people in the home is, like, for ages they've been saying get back to work, and people have been saying no thank you. And now all you can have in your home is 6 people, which probably means at home all you can do is spend time with your family.
Yep.
And at some point people are going to think, fuck it, I'll go back to work. So I think and then therefore it boosts the economy. Same thing. They want to eat out to help out, was to get us into pubs. Now, if you want to meet someone that you're not related to, you might need to nip down the boozer. It's their new plan that they're calling sneak out to help out. And it might be the only thing that actually causes any success in this. There's another catchphrase that was added. I don't know if you saw this, Eric. Check this bad boy out.
Hands, face, space.
Hands, face, face. It's not as good as the classics, is it? Do you remember we started off with stay in, protect the NHS, save lives? Good.
That was a good one.
That's a good one. And then there was one of my personal favourites: stay alert, control the virus.
Yeah.
And you had to stay alert just in.
It's back.
Still got it because I've got it because I'm alert. Because so we're staying alert. But then this new one is just hands, face, space. Sounds like someone's trying to like jazz scat riff their way to doing a Star Trek intro.
Hands, face,
Space.
And by the way, that's reminded me, make sure to wash behind your final frontiers. Oh, that's actually a joke I put in today's show.
It's a shame that wasn't because Tuesday was Star Trek Day. We didn't mention it, and you've done it. You've done it too late now.
Yeah.
Should have done that on Star Trek Day, but then we would have had to known. That's
The just technology wasn't available. Doesn't it feel like it misses something? Even grammatically, it's not quite right, is it? Hands, face, space. It feels like more's needed, and it reminded me of this.
hands, face,
My neck, my back, lick my and my crack.
Lick a crack. Ooh, it's a family show. I don't know if that's not sanitary, and I really don't think you should be doing that during a pandemic. Lick a crack. I mean, never met it, never tried it, and to be honest, I don't think I would try it. There are some things you don't want to know that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't want to form a habit, because the last thing I need to do is turn into a crack addict. 2 for 2 for terrible jokes in this section. Keep them coming.
If you did buy us a drink, we do offer refunds.
But the big worry, after we got all through this, the big worry is this one. Coronavirus is Christmas. Cancel Prime Minister. The big worry is that we're not going to be able to have a normal Christmas.
Yep.
So to find out more about this big issue, and this is the show that gets you answers, I'm pleased to say I'm joined on the line now by Santa. It's Father Christmas. Hello.
Hello, Steve.
Thank you very much for taking the time to do this. You must be, I guess you're quite busy, aren't you?
No, not these days. Thanks to Amazon Prime, I don't have to start work until late December.
Kind of ruins the magic. Listen, look, people are really worried that Christmas is going to be cancelled this year. Tell us, is Christmas cancelled?
I'm afraid so, yes. Because of COVID-19, I've had to furlough the elves, and I'm self-isolating because I'm obese. I'm very, very old, and I'm pregnant.
You might want to get a test. What are you going to do instead?
Well, I thought I'd sit around at home wearing boxer shorts with a ball hanging out watching Netflix. And before you say anything, I know that's all you've done since March. Look at Santa's sack.
Oh, you know it's Santa too much. It's a kid. There are kids watching. We're not having any of that lot. This Santa guy. What's the feedback on that? Too much? Too little? I don't know.
He knows what you've been doing. Anyway. Because I didn't catch the briefing yesterday, Steve, so thank you for filling me in such a factual manner.
Yep.
And I have to say, with this moonbeam thing that the prime minister's come up with testing everyone in the United Kingdom, I want to be honest. I know sincerity, it's a comedy show, whatever. I think that's a great it's a great idea. I think testing everyone in the UK is amazing, and I think what could go wrong in the UK with tests. We're very good at. I think they've developed a really good algorithm for those tests that should give us results that will be set and never change.
Do you know what? You might be onto something here. Maybe they don't need to do any tests, and all of a sudden we'll find out we've got some of the fewest cases in the whole world.
Do the tests and find out that I get into Cambridge. So
there is a chance if everyone gets tested, we'll find out exactly who Boris Johnson is the father of.
That's true. It's not going to happen. It's never going to happen. Daddy? Anyway. Right.
Let's do some messages.
What do we got in the comments here?
Loads coming through. Hang on, let's have a look. Mark says, does that mean that we're related to the PM past the mind bleach? And then Reenthuse says, Boris really never learned hands, shoulders, knees and toes, did he? Hands, face, space and face, space and face. They have to say hands, knees and bumps a daisy was taken.
Ooh.
And then there's some more scores coming through from Mark. You keep them going through. We'll track down more. And you can tweet us as well. There's the YouTube for the comments. And we've got a few. Oh, someone says, how are you? It's very nice of them to send that message. bit busy right now.
There we go.
You can keep it going. If you're enjoying the show,
And,
get subscribed on the YouTube and pop us some money in the pot. That would be muchly appreciated because these shows ain't free to run, and sadly we have to buy some kit for it, so it all helps out.
All right. Yes. Well, we've got one problem. Someone didn't get a link for tonight's show, so we're gonna have to apologize to Dawn if she's found us now. We're gonna sort her out. So.
I mean, that sounded more like a threat, but you're right. There's always the opportunity to watch this afterwards. It streams all over the place. Again, sounds wrong, and then it stays up on various social medias.
There we go. Well, here's the problem, Steve. That it's a question I want to ask you first as a problem, and then we're going to find out what the answer is. Do you have to wear clothes when you vote? Should you? Is that a problem?
I don't think I've voted in the nude. Well, not like a proper election. If we're talking Britain's Got Talent, might have done
all the time, especially these days. It is a bit of a problem in America, and I noticed this when I saw this headline about a primary that recently happened in New Hampshire, where a woman votes topless after she had her anti-Trump shirt disallowed, which is quite a harsh word there. Your shirt is disallowed. Basically, the story is she went in to vote in the primary, and you're not allowed to have anything that can sway another voter or have campaign messages on there. And her T-shirt that she was wearing said McCain hero, Trump zero. And so she was told by the moderator, that's a stupid slogan, you have to take it off. No, she was told by the moderator you can't have a political slogan. It is kind of a lame slogan. But so the moderator of the voting booth thing thought that she would just go into the toilet, take her shirt, turn it inside out, and go vote. She didn't have time for that. Just whipped her shirt off, headed straight in there. And you know what? I am all for that. I think that is a great way to bring more, especially young people, to the polls.
Yeah. Well, speaking of polls, yeah, definitely.
But I mean, that's what makes democracy great. But of course, you know what happens. You start getting the topless person. So, I mean, that seems like it was a good solution, don't you think? She takes off her shirt, heads straight into the voting booth. What's the problem with that?
I mean, if the rule is you're not allowed to have anything that might sway other voters, I think, there's a strong chance that if she just pointed at them and kind of went like, Biden, there's a chance. There is, yeah. But I guess if it's about political slogans, then again, if she's topless, then she was revealing a right tit. And if there's one phrase I think makes me think of Donald Trump, it's that one. But yeah, I think it's as long as she wasn't too cold, in you go.
There you go. That's what makes democracy great. But of course, that happens. She's left-winger. Now we got all the right-wingers. They're going to want to watch.
There's always one that's bigger. Is that what you meant?
That's the one that you have to shave. And there's the mega people are going to want in on this too. You got those mega hats.
Yeah.
They're going to want to be wearing them. And it actually happened at the last midterm election. Got this headline. I think it was from Texas. Texas said he couldn't wear a mega hat to go vote. And of course, because it's America, Steve,
oh, dear.
You know what that means? Lawsuit.
Yeah, it's sue or shoot, isn't it? Take your pick.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, I did see a picture of this guy, and I'm happy for him to keep his hat on. In fact, I also wanted him to keep his shirt on. Some people I want to have the shirt off. Some people not. So he sued. It went to court, and there is a result in the Supreme Court, 7-2, which we can see here. They banned laws that don't allow you to have political apparel. So it's a free speech thing. You can wear the clothes if you want to into the polling place. That's not a problem. Wow. So that's, Steve, what makes America great. You can get your tits out, or you can look like a tit. The choice is yours.
On that note, Mark says, did she show her full support? That's good. That's good.
But it's not just America that has these problems, Steve. This issue of getting them out happens in other places. Some places you might not even think. Some places like France. I saw this headline on the BBC today that the Musée d'Orsay was barred a visitor from wearing a low-cut dress. And that is the actual woman and the actual dress that she was wearing on the day that she was barred. And how do you feel about that, Steve?
Well, it doesn't make any sense because, as we learned from your first story, if you complain about someone's attire, they might just take it off. And if their problem was that's a little revealing, it'll be a bit more revealing when she just suddenly whips it off.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, in general, I'm okay with anyone wearing anything. I don't think that we should be making the human body illegal.
I think that she should be barred. I think it's correct. I think the museum was correct because, I mean, you know what was happening in that museum? People were there supposed to be looking at the art on the wall, and she's standing there.
I see. So what she needed was one of those small plaques put next to them, so you could read about it and pretend like it's art.
And are warned not to touch. But
one of those ropes. I mean, I know that wasn't voting, but I think, revealing outfits, of course you should be able to wear them. Actually, if you're voting and you're going into the booth, you're going in face first, so it points forwards, doesn't it? In fact, the only people who should be banned from voting with cleavage on show is builders, because they get the old Dagenham cleavage out and your eyes are drawn. It doesn't matter what's happening. If someone's wearing something a little too low slung, you notice, and if it's a polling booth, then you get those little pencils. So the next thing you know, just saying, you got to watch out for stuff.
Don't want that to happen. So that's the big. We cover the big stories, solve the big problems here, Steve, and that was
covered it more than she did.
Yeah, that woman taking off her shirt, that was one of the big ones.
Let's have a look. Kishu says nice eyes. The woman or us? I mean, well done for noticing her.
Always look high.
Guys. Mark keeping the scores going. I don't know why. Apparently, Steve 3, Eric 3, extra time being played. Brings a whole new meaning to exit poll, says Chris. Nice. Loving it. Nice. Is that what you call it? Lovely.
That's Trump.
So you can keep the messages coming through on whichever message place you're on. We've not checked Twitter yet. Tell you what we'll do, we'll get that loaded up ready for the next one.
And don't forget, you can subscribe. You got the subscription for the YouTube there.
There it is.
Very good. And if you are enjoying the work that we're doing, we do appreciate any remuneration that you can do. If you think, well, these guys are funny, at some point along the night I would have bought them a drink if we were allowed, but there's more than 6 of us, so it's not. The links are there. The links are there.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's stay afloat. And actually, that moves us on nicely to how do we solve the economic problem. Because this was one of the news stories. Lloyd's Bank and Pizza Hut to cut more than 1,000 jobs. Didn't realise they were sharing the same staff, which probably explains why you're in a Lloyd's and there's no one flipping serving. They're all taking orders. So actually, if it's a bank, I'm surprised they have any staff left to cut, because I don't see any humans want to go in there these days. Although, actually, maybe they need to put more people in banks, because we're all going in wearing masks. And as I've always said, in the olden days, if you walked in a bank wearing a mask, you knew that you were going to rob the place. These days, if you want to rob a bank, you've got to queue up with all the other mask wearers and get to the front to hand over your note. Yeah. Takes the bloody piss, doesn't it? Pizza Hut, apparently, they're losing some staff as well, which I'm surprised at, because all we've done is just sit on our asses and order pizza. So I don't know how that one's working. The thing is, the almost shorthand for economic downturn when it comes to the COVID fallout is Pret. And we've talked about Pret on this show before. You can go into the clips section on YouTube and you can see I made a Pret sandwich, which the punchline was just throwing some money in a bin. And really, I've said this before, afterwards someone sent me loads of messages on Twitter complaining that I put butter on both slices of bread when I made the sandwich, and in a proper Pret one you only butter one slice. And I love that that's the biggest problem that they had with everything I've done. But good news, I suppose, there's now a scheme to help them, because they are promoting this how to get free coffees. You can get free 5 coffees a day if you do this special subscription thing that they're doing.
Okay.
And that's really interesting that Pret are giving out free coffees, because I remember when they were famously giving out coffees to people who looked attractive. That was their big deal. And that caused 2 things to happen. One was that attractive people who'd got coffees just sent the most humble bragging tweets and posts on social media, kind of, oh my God, I went to get a coffee today and I didn't have to pay. #blessed. Because it's all very well for the attractive people going around as if that's not going to offend. What about the rest of us?
Yeah.
We're stood in Pret paying 99p for a filter coffee, and then you just feel like shit. You have to walk in there. Yeah. Oh, you want the money for... You have to walk to the door, kind of, look away. I'm hideous. I've paid for the coffee. Acting. And actually, do you know what, Pret, if you're listening, and I know you still watch this, you never offered me free coffees when it was about being attractive. So why are you suddenly crawling around, sniffing around me again now that you're desperate? Well, maybe things have changed. Maybe things have moved on. Maybe I don't want your coffee anymore. Yeah, you could have done it back then when it counted, but now it's all about you. Well, I got to say to you, Pret, I don't want your coffee. Maybe I found someone new. I mean, I must admit, I don't actually go to Costa a lot because their coffee's not great, but neither is their security. So yeah, we're up to date.
Did you steal that today so you can do that bit?
You know me, I do commit to any acty bits. Mark says, if Lloyd's and Pizza Hut are sharing staff, does that mean that your account can be high interest, deep pan, or crustless? Yep. And let's have a look. Lord Pret is a big fan. Marine Thew says, and stole a cup from them. I didn't steal this. I got given it as a gift, which makes me think I was given it by someone who stole it. But, you know, it was indeed a good gift for Steve. You know what I mean?
I don't think you can even buy those.
No, you can. Actually, you definitely can. And here's the weird thing. I think it's true. I remember looking into it at the time. When you buy a cup from Costa, you don't buy a special one that's packaged out the back. You just buy one of their set that's been in use.
Yeah.
It's a second-hand cup.
That's how COVID started.
It's a fresh cup of COVID. So look,
It's the Costa virus.
Oh, Re-Infuse says that he's got 2 of the cups that he stole. Yeah.
Stolen cups. It's not as big as the Sport Direct cup. Those are the ones to get.
Oh, yeah. You can jog on, Pret. Imagine getting... That's the level of free coffee that I'm after.
Yeah. Although I don't think the Costa Big Coffee is just too big. Like when it has the 2 handles on it.
Do you not like
don't
those?
like that.
I like that because you don't
No,
need... I mean,
it's
it looks like you need both to lift, but you don't. You can actually pick it up with one.
Yeah. I think they're designed for Donald Trump because you know how he drinks.
There it is. Look at us. This is the difference between you and me. There it is. There's a screenshot.
Look at the size of that.
Yeah, we're having that for promotional activity.
Except mine's full of gin. It's not.
We are.
It's not. It's vodka.
We are already overtime. Pinky out. We're already over time.
Pinky down. We're over time. Yes. So should we put up the, while we're looking to check any comments, put up the drink, buy us a drink thing again?
Yes, that'd be much appreciated.
Yes, we are over time a little bit. We are here every Tuesday and Thursday on the YouTube, on the Twitter, on the Facebook, on the Twitch. Gave up on LinkedIn, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't working for us.
LinkedIn. And
we are
still
also.
looking for...
Have we talked about this? That we're now broadcasting on a thing called something like what's the one? It's meant to be a competitor to Twitch, Trovo, because when Mixed, whatever it was called, when that shut down, Mixer, because the one that was owned by Microsoft shut down.
Love my Trovo.
Yeah,
love my Trovo, whatever that is.
We're on YouTube, Trovo. We're on Twitter. We're on D Live, Smashcast, Vaughan Live, PC. No, FC2. It's a Korean thing. We always get loads of viewers on there, but I'm not sure.
Korean? Are you insane?
I don't know which one it is.
North? Jesus, Steve. Okay.
I'm okay with it.
Be careful. It's a good thing I don't go out. Thank you for watching. Yes, if you thought, I'll throw these guys a couple quid, we would love that. It keeps us going and supporting us in the comedy journeys that we have. And did I just get smaller?
I think your thing shrunk. I remember we had that problem back in the old days. There it is.
There we go.
I can't drag it. So
all right. Anyway, we're on every Tuesday and Thursday, 9 o'clock in the UK. Steve.
Yeah. Mark says you didn't steal a cup, you only broke the law in a limited and specific way. Indeed. Chris says, I see your Costa cup and raise you a genuine British Rail teaspoon. You managed to get one of those? That must be worth more than the train tickets are these days. And I see your teaspoon and raise you a Metropolitan Police truncheon. You can't nick a police truncheon. You're asking for trouble. What? That's like trying to nick a CCTV camera. Right. Where have you gone?
There I am. Anyway, we're back next week. I will be larger by then, probably because I've just gained weight.
Yeah, we solved this problem once before. We can do it again.
Yeah, So thank you very much for watching. Thanks for your contributions to keep us going. Thanks for your comments. And please do tell people about the show, share the show, subscribe on YouTube and other places. And yeah, I think that's pretty much done it.
Yeah.
Steve?
Till Tuesday, 9 o'clock. I think we say goodbye and see you then.
All right. See you then. Bye.